2092 Returning to the Heavenly White Tiger Clan, 2. Still in his heavenly white tiger form, Yuan offered the guard a calm smile.
I'm who you think I am. Do me a favor, and keep it quiet, will you? I don't want to cause a panic.
The guard gave a silent nod, his face pale with disbelief.
Thanks.
Yuan said before turning to approach the massive residence before him. Even after Yuan had disappeared from his sight, the guard remained seated on the ground, motionless, as if he had forgotten how to stand. Before entering the residence, Yuan activated Shadow Veil and completely erased his presence. Then, once inside, he began wandering the place. After wandering for several minutes, Yuan noticed several powerful presences gathered in one room, so he approached the room and eavesdropped from outside.
It's been half a year since the Immortal Monarch left. Do you think he'll return anytime soon?
Yuan knew the people gathered inside the room were the elders even before they spoke based on their aura.
Who knows? He could be coming here right now, for all we know.
One of them casually remarked, unaware that he'd hit the nail on the head.
I just hope that he's satisfied with the changes. It wasn't easy to suddenly change rules that have been in place for many generations. If not, we're probably screwed. The Immortal Monarch could kill all of us with just his words alone. There's no way he'd do something like that, right? According to historical records, the Immortal Monarch worked to protect the beast race from humans and from each other. He's essentially the reason beasts and humans can coexist in this day and age.
Said another.
He saved some and completely eradicated others, especially those who defied him. Some even considered him a tyrant.
The 11th elder revealed, his voice carrying a clear tremor of fear.
Enough.
The clan leader's voice suddenly interrupted.
Nobody is to mention this subject again, especially not before the Immortal Monarch. But if he finds out, I said enough. I will figure things out myself.
The clan leader snapped. Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly after hearing this.
What do you think they're trying to hide from you?
Feng Yuxiang asked, her voice full of curiosity.
Who knows? But I will figure it out.
Yuan stopped listening to them shortly after when their conversation drifted off topic, and he continued to wander the residence. Sometime later, Yuan stopped before another room when he sensed a familiar presence within, and it was none other than Bisulan. Yuan knocked on the door after realizing it was her.
Who's there?
Bisulan's terrified voice rang out a moment later, as if she'd just seen a ghost. With Yuan's shadow veil still active, she couldn't sense anyone outside her door, despite the unmistakable sound of knocking. In her panic, she assumed it could only be a ghost.
It's me.
Yuan calmly replied. It took a moment, but Bisulan recognized his voice. Although she couldn't believe it, she still had to confirm it. Once she opened the door and saw Yuan standing outside, her eyes widened with shock and confusion.
Who are you?
She asked, not recognizing his new appearance. Yuan deactivated his heavenly white tiger and returned to his original appearance.
Handsome lit.
Bisulan quickly covered her mouth after recalling his true identity. Yuan smiled and said,
Just call me whatever you feel comfortable. But you're the Immortal Monarch. You're our ancestors' master.
She spoke nervously.
So what? I might get punished for not respecting you. I gave you permission, so who would dare to punish you? If you say so, handsome big brother.
Bisulan said.
Can I come inside? I came here secretly, and I don't want the others to find out yet.
She nodded and gestured for him to enter her room.
How come I cannot sense your presence, even though I'm staring right at you?
She asked once he closed the door.
I am using a technique to hide my presence. I see. Then why are you hiding from the others? I want to see if the Heavenly White Tiger Clan, the clan leader, and the elders actually acted on their promise and changed the way they manage the clan. In that case, you don't have to worry.
Bisulan said reassuringly.
Things have definitely changed for the better. While hierarchy still exists within the clan, it's no longer as rigid, and we're no longer executed for failing our trials. That's good to hear. What about you? Did anyone try to steal the blood I gave you?
Yuan asked. Bisulan let out a soft chuckle.
No one's dared to take it by force, but plenty have tried to convince me to share it, offering treasures and all sorts of things. Naturally, I refused. By the way, is this really your blood?
Bisulan asked, retrieving an empty glass vial.
Why does it taste so good? I meant to try just a drop, but before I knew it, I'd finished the whole thing.
Yuan smiled and said.
Want to confirm it?
She nodded eagerly. Yuan retrieved a drop of his own blood before her eyes and flicked it into her mouth.
Wow, this tastes even better than before.
She exclaimed. Since Yuan's bloodline had advanced after refining the heavenly white tiger's blood essence, it was only natural that the quality of his blood had improved as well. Of course, Bisulan wasn't aware of this fact.
How does this work? Why does it taste so good?
Bisulan then asked.
I don't know, but it likely has something to do with my bloodline. Do you do something special to give it this taste? Can you give out as much blood as you want? Is there a limit?
She then bombarded him with several questions. Yuan raised an eyebrow and pondered silently for a moment before responding.
That's a good question, but I've never considered it, nor have I ever reached a limit.
The clan leader's secret.
You've never reached a limit? So you basically have an unlimited supply of blood.
Bisulan muttered, a strange flicker in her eyes. Unbeknownst to her, she was licking her lips, looking like a child staring longingly at a jar of candy. Yuan smiled at her reaction and said calmly.
No, it just means I rarely give out my blood. Even if it were unlimited, giving away too much wouldn't be wise, considering the powerful effects it carries.
The immortal monarch's blood was precious for a reason. If Yuan were to give it freely to anyone who asked, it could lead to unimaginable consequences, disrupting the balance of power across the 9 heavens.
My bloodline awakened and became the most powerful within the clan after consuming that little amount you gave me. I cannot imagine what could happen if it were accessible to everyone.
Bisulan mumbled. She looked at him thoughtfully and asked.
Since your blood is so powerful and precious, I imagine you've had more than a few troublemakers trying to get their hands on it, haven't you?
To beasts, Yuan's blood was the most coveted treasure, and their greed was no different from that of humans. Some would go to any lengths to claim it for themselves. Yuan let out a calm chuckle and said.
That's right. Back in the Immortal Monarch's era, I was constantly dealing with beasts trying to steal my blood. They'd ambush me without warning, hoping to claim even a single drop. Because of that, I had to learn how to control my blood, ensuring it would only be effective when I allowed it to. It took some time, but I eventually managed to do it. Of course, that didn't stop the troublemakers from trying anyway.
This meant that even if Yuan were injured and bled in a battle, the blood he shed wouldn't carry the immortal monarch's power. After chatting for a little longer, Yuan asked.
Do you know where I can find Bai Ning? Senior's sister Ning? She left the clan a month ago.
She replied. Before Yuan could ask, Bisulan continued.
She had a falling out with the 11th elder, who destroyed your blood. Of course, that wasn't her only reason for leaving. She said something about exploring the 9 heavens to seek enlightenment. I see.
After a moment of silence, Yuan asked.
On my way here, I overheard your elders and the clan leaders meeting. Apparently, they're hiding something from me. Do you know what they're hiding?
Bisulan raised her eyebrows and looked genuinely puzzled.
No.
She eventually shook her head.
Is that so? Do you want me to find out what they're hiding?
Bisulan suddenly asked. Yuan quickly responded.
No, there's no need for you to do that. I'll figure it out myself. Okay. Anyway, I guess it's about time I check up with them.
Yuan suddenly deactivated Shadow Veil, allowing his presence to spread throughout the residence. Not far away, the clan leader and the elders instantly froze when they sensed his appearance out of thin air like a ghost.
This presence. It can't be. The immortal monarch has returned.
They hastily rushed out of the room, even breaking down the door in the process, and followed the presence to Bisulan's room. When they arrived, Yuan was calmly standing inside.
We greet the immortal monarch.
They all lowered their bodies and bowed to him.
It's been half a year.
Yuan faced them with a calm expression on his face.
Did you just arrive?
The clan leader asked.
No.
Yuan replied calmly.
I've been here for some time. I chose not to announce my return since I wanted to observe the current state of the Heavenly White Tiger clan first.
The elders trembled at these words.
We've implemented many changes already, but some require more time to take full effect. If there's anything you find lacking, please let us know and we'll address it immediately,
said the clan leader. Yuan looked at him and spoke calmly.
I'm not asking you to change the entire clan or force yourselves to live a completely different life. But understand this, no matter how much you refine the surface, if the core remains rotten, it's all meaningless.
At that moment, Yuan activated Immortal Monarch's supremacy. His eyes turned silver, and his presence flooded the entire space with an overwhelming pressure. Then, in a firm and commanding voice, he said,
If you think you can hide anything from me, just know that I need only speak a few words, and you'll reveal everything on your own. I'll give you a chance to speak willingly now. Is there anything you want to tell me?
The elders trembled with fear, instantly turning their eyes to the clan leader, awaiting his response. It was clear that Yuan had somehow learned of their secret. Realizing that silence would be futile, and that one of the elders would surely speak up if he didn't, he let out a deep sigh and said,
There is one thing I need to tell you, but it'll be easier if I show you instead. Please follow me.
the clan leader said before turning and walking away. Yuan and the elders followed in silence, their expressions solemn. Driven by curiosity, Bisulan quietly trailed behind them. A few minutes later, they stopped before another room. However, this room had several formations on the sealed door, preventing anyone from looking inside. Whatever they're trying to hide from you, it must be quite serious. Yuning remarked after seeing the formations. After taking a moment to undo the formations, the clan leader spoke cautiously.
Immortal Monarch, please understand that this wasn't done to defy you. Spare the excuses for later.
Yuan interrupted, striding forward and pushing the door open without hesitation. As Yuan stepped into the room and took in the sight before him, his eyes widened in surprise, a look of genuine amazement spreading across his face. Lying peacefully on the bed was none other than Bisulan. Though unconscious, he was still breathing. His appearance had also changed drastically, now looking like a shriveled old man on his deathbed, a far cry from the healthy young figure he once was. 2094 Bisulan's persistence.
That's Bisulan.
At first glance, Yuan didn't recognize Bisulan due to the drastic change in his appearance, but even in its weakened state, his aura was unmistakable. It was undeniably Bisulan.
No way he actually survived? Maybe he's not a heavenly white tiger after all, and his true bloodline might just be that of cockroach.
Feng Yuxiang remarked, sounding utterly dumbfounded by his persistence that rivaled cockroaches. I only extracted his ancestors' blood essence, so that must be what kept him alive. Still, even then, it's nothing short of a miracle, Yuan explained to her. Yuan turned to look at the clan leader and the elders, who were still standing outside the room with guilty expressions on their faces.
Explain yourselves,
Yuan said. The clan leader spoke immediately, his tone heavy with reluctance.
We all believed he had perished, but during the restoration of our territory, we found Bisulan barely clinging to life. We thought about letting him die, but my fatherly instincts compel me to save him. Though he's still breathing, he hasn't woken up since we found him. Your fatherly instincts?
Yuan sneered coldly, his gaze turning to the clan leader with disdain.
That's rich, coming from someone who's killed countless of their own children simply because their bloodlines didn't meet your standards. That's.
The clan leader fell silent, unable to refute Yuan's sharp rebuke.
What's so special about Bisulan that you decided to save him, despite everything that's happened?
Yuan pressed, his voice cold.
Looking at him now, his injuries are likely permanent. He'll be crippled for the rest of his life. Is he really worth the risk?
Before the clan leader could respond, Yuan approached him and continued.
What if I were to say that I will eradicate the entire heavenly white tiger clan over this? Have you thought of this possibility? I doubt you didn't. Yet, you still decided to take the risk. I have no excuses.
The clan leader sighed, his voice heavy with defeat. Yuan turned his gaze to the elders, his tone sharp.
You're no better for allowing him to act so selfishly. You're supposed to be the elders of this clan. Where's your authority? Are you only capable of flaunting it when trying to suppress others? We have no excuses.
The elders lowered their heads in shame.
I'm deeply disappointed in you all,
Yuan said, his voice cold.
And don't misunderstand. This isn't about the fact that you allowed Bisulan to live. I'm actually impressed by how quickly you've changed, at least on the surface. But inside, you're still selfish, and when the time comes, you wouldn't hesitate to sacrifice your own people.
Yuan began walking toward the door, his voice steady and firm.
Until your heavenly white tiger clan shows real change, I won't be able to accept you. And don't think you can win my favor by killing Bisulan now. In fact, it's mostly the leadership that's the problem. I could kill all of you and replace you with more competent individuals, but I won't do that.
The clan leader and the elders trembled at Yuan's words, but what truly caused their hearts to sink wasn't the threat itself, it was the crushing realization that they had lost the chance to receive the immortal monarch's aid.
As for Bisulan,
Yuan continued.
Since he's managed to survive time and time again, I'm sure fate hasn't finished with him yet. So, I won't kill him, provided he remains in this territory for the rest of his life.
As Yuan walked out of the room, Bisulan suddenly grabbed his robes and asked with a saddened face.
Will I ever see you again? If fate allows it.
Yuan replied as he rubbed her head.
Okay.
Bisulan nodded her head as she released his robes. Yuan turned to look at the others and warned them in a cold voice.
I hope you won't be foolish enough to reveal my identity for revenge. We wouldn't dare.
They quickly shook their heads. Then, Yuan activated Shadow Veil and disappeared from their sight like a ghost. Although the clan leader and the elders were desperate to stop him, they hesitated, unwilling to risk angering him further, fearing that it might prompt him to change his mind and wipe them all out.
Are we really leaving this time?
Feng Yuxiang asked Yuan after they left the Heavenly White Tiger clan for a second time. He nodded.
Yes, we're going to return to the Rising Phoenix clan now. All right, although you didn't kill the clan leader or the elders, I feel like this is a more fitting punishment for them, since they will have to live the rest of their lives with regret. Hopefully nothing will happen to Bisulan, though.
Yuan then reassured her.
Nothing will happen to her. With Bai Tao in that condition and Bai Ning leaving the clan, she's their only hope now. I see. That makes sense. There's also that little surprise you left behind for her.
Feng Yuxiang chuckled. Shortly after Yuan left, Bisulan quietly returned to her room while the clan leader and the elders started another meeting to discuss their future. When she returned to her room, Bisulan was surprised to see a wooden box placed on her bed, something she wasn't familiar with and hadn't existed before. When she opened the box, her eyes widened with shock and disbelief. Inside, there were several glass vials containing blood. Although no note was left behind and they were sealed, Bisulan instantly recognized whose blood it was. She held it close to her chest and mumbled with a sweet smile on her face.
Once I become a capable adult, I will definitely come find you, handsome big brother.
Then, she stowed the glass vials away and left her room to train. After several days of intense discussion, the clan leader and the elders decided to adapt to the new rules and continue working towards improving their clan, hoping that, one day, Yuan might return and give them another chance. Congrats. 2095 A Detour. After departing from the Heavenly White Tiger clan, Yuan began his journey back to the Rising Phoenix clan, despite still having several months left before the one-year promise. However, along the way, he was forced to halt when he spotted two groups of cultivators clashing in the middle of nowhere. Typically, Yuan wouldn't have paid such a scene any mind, as it had nothing to do with him. But this time, something caught his attention, as the attire of these cultivators looked familiar, compelling him to stay and observe.
Those robes. Aren't they the Demon Sealing clan's robes?
Feng Yuxiang commented after seeing them.
Yes, and the other one belongs to the Demon Sealing grotto.
Yuan confirmed. The Demon Sealing clan and the Demon Sealing grotto members noticed Yuan shortly after he arrived, but immediately stopped paying attention to him once they realized that he wasn't reinforcement from the other side and continued their fight. These members were mostly bronze immortals, with a few still in the divine realm.
I've been getting really tired of you guys lately. Do you think you're better than the Demon Sealing clan because you're slightly better at controlling Demon Sealing aura? Huh, what Demon Sealing clan? You guys are nothing but old news. There's a reason why most of your original members have left and joined us at the Demon Sealing grotto instead. Right, you're just a bunch of envious bastards. That's why you schemed against us during the Supreme Demon Sealer qualifications. What scheme? You're just slandering us at this point.
The battle intensified with each passing moment.
Aren't you going to stop them?
Feng Yuxiang asked. Yuan replied calmly.
They may be fighting, but I don't sense any real killing intent. They'll be fine. It's more like watching a bunch of kids squabbling.
Suddenly, a powerful presence descended upon the place, instantly halting everyone's movement.
What do you idiots think you're doing? Stop this immediately.
A familiar voice resounded the very next moment, and a beautiful woman appeared before them. It was none other than Yen Hara.
Senior Yen, they're the ones who started this fight,
said one of the Demon Sealing clan members.
That's right. They attacked us on sight. We were only defending ourselves.
Yen Hara turned to look at the Demon Sealing grottos with a frown.
Explain yourselves,
she demanded.
What is there to explain? Your Demon Sealing clan started this.
Instead of being angry, Yen Hara merely said.
Since nobody was seriously injured, I'll let you leave. Get lost before I change my mind. Oomph.
The Demon Sealing grotto did not stay and quickly left the scene.
Senior Yen, why'd you let them go that easily? They'll think they can bully us and get away with it. We need to fight back, or they'll just keep doing it.
Yen Hara looked at them and sighed.
Regardless of how you feel about each other, with the recent movements from the demon worshippers, we'll need to stand together. Fighting among ourselves won't just weaken us. It will endanger the rest of the world. So are we just supposed to endure it?
Yen Hara narrowed her eyes and said coldly.
Do you really take me for a fool? What are you doing near the Demon Sealing grotto's headquarters? If you expect me to believe you came here unaware, I've got bad news for you.
The Demon Sealing clan's members instantly panicked, their composure unraveling under her piercing words. Though the Demon Sealing grotto had attacked first, they had clearly provoked the conflict by deliberately trespassing into their territory. In other words, they were asking for trouble.
But enough with your excuses. Get out of here before I get angry for real.
Yen Hara interrupted, raising her voice. The Demon Sealing clan members didn't dare to linger any longer and swiftly fled the scene. Once the others had left, Yen Hara finally turned her attention to the presence observing from afar. At first, she didn't recognize Yuan, as his aura had changed so drastically. But the moment she saw his familiar, handsome face, her eyes widened in shock and disbelief.
Yuan, what are you doing here?
Yen Hara exclaimed as he approached her. Yuan greeted her with a calm smile.
I could say the same to you. What are you doing out here in the middle of nowhere? I'm on my way to the Rising Phoenix clan. The Rising Phoenix clan? Well, I am on my way to visit the Demon Sealing Grotto for a meeting. Since Qian Chu is still away, I have to take his place.
Yuan raised his eyebrows and asked.
Don't they have the Grand Elders to take his spot? Yes, but my position within the clan has reached the point where even the Grand Elders are wary of me. In fact, they're the ones who told me to go in Qian Chu's place. They're probably hoping that I'd screw up or something.
Yuan pondered for a moment before responding.
Do you think I can go with you? I don't mind, but don't you have business with the Rising Phoenix clan?
He nodded and explained.
Yes, but I still have about half a year to spare. If you say so.
Thus, Yuan made a detour to visit the Demon Sealing Grotto with Yen Hara.
When did you arrive at the 8th heaven?
Yen Hara asked.
Very recently. Then what have you been up to? I was just at the Heavenly White Tiger clan. You have ties to both the Rising Phoenix clan and the Heavenly White Tiger clan? Those are incredibly exclusive places, neither of which usually welcome humans.
Yuan smiled and said.
I'll tell you about it someday.
A few days later, they arrived at the Demon Sealing Grotto's headquarters, a hidden stronghold that existed within its own separate dimension. The portal leading to it was tucked away in a remote city deep within the wilderness.
I'm Yen Hara of the Demon Sealing clan, here on behalf of Qian Chu, who's currently unavailable.
She said, presenting her medallion to the guards as proof of her identity.
We have been expecting you, Master Demon Sealer Yen Hara, but who is that next to you?
The guard pointed at Yuan with his gaze. Congrats, 2096 visiting the Demon Sealing Grotto. When the guard questioned about Yuan, Yen Hara calmly responded.
He's an elite demon sealer of the Demon Sealing clan and my disciple. Is there any problem with him being present? Well, the higher-ups will be there, so it might not be a good idea to bring him with you,
said the guard.
The pressure might be too much for him to handle. You don't have to worry about me. If I get overwhelmed, I won't blame anyone.
Yuan said with a calm smile on his face.
You heard him. I also won't say anything,
said Yen Hara.
In that case.
The guard silently stepped aside and activated the array behind him, revealing the portal to the Demon Sealing Grotto's headquarters. Yen Hara entered first, with Yuan following closely behind. On the other side, they were greeted by the sight of a city, more refined and orderly than the one outside, and the entire place was suffused with a dense demon sealing aura.
So this is the Demon Sealing Grotto,
Yuan muttered as he looked around. Yen Hara looked at him and asked.
This is your first time visiting this place, right? That's right. This is where most of their demon sealers train.
Yen Hara explained.
Unlike our Demon Sealing clan, whose members are scattered across the 9 heavens, the Demon Sealing Grotto keeps most of its members here. They rarely leave, only venturing out when necessary to investigate or eliminate demon worshippers and demons.
Yuan smiled and said.
So, in other words, the Demon Sealing Grotto takes demon sealing far more seriously than the Demon Sealing clan? Sounds like comparing a full-time professional to someone working part-time. That's.
Yen Hara was momentarily speechless at his comparison, but upon reflection, she understood his point. Compared to the Demon Sealing Grotto, the Demon Sealing clan was indeed far more relaxed and casual. For many within the clan, being a demon sealer was a secondary pursuit, something they practiced alongside their main cultivation path. In contrast, those from the Demon Sealing Grotto treated it as their primary purpose, dedicating their lives wholly to the art of sealing demons. This was also the reason why the Demon Sealing clan had declined, no longer able to compare to the Demon Sealing Grotto in recent times. Yuan wanted to explore the place for a bit, but shortly after their arrival, a member of the Demon Sealing Grotto appeared to escort them to their destination. Some time later, they arrived before a grand white building that exuded a formal and solemn atmosphere, clearly a place reserved for important meetings and official gatherings.
The elders are waiting inside,
said the escort as he opened the door for them. Yuan and Yen Hara stepped into a vast chamber lined with hundreds of seats, most of which were already occupied by members of the Demon Sealing Grotto. Every demon sealer within the chamber was at least a golden immortal, their very presence radiating a dense demon sealing aura that seemed to suppress the air itself.
Please, proceed to the front,
The escort said, gesturing toward two distinct seats set apart from the rest, clearly positioned as the center of attention. However, one of the two seats was already occupied by an old man radiating a profound aura, leaving Yuan to stand beside Yen Hara as she took the remaining seat.
Welcome to our humble estate, Demon Sealer, Yen Hara.
The old man seated beside her immediately started the conversation.
It's been a while, Senior Zhou.
Yen Hara respectfully greeted him.
This old man is the Demon Sealing Grotto's leader, Zhou Yanfei.
She revealed to Yuan using voice transmission. The old man noticed that she was using voice transmission and turned to look at Yuan.
I wasn't expecting a second guest today,
he said. Though the old man released no pressure, the atmosphere in the room grew oppressively heavy, and Yuan could distinctly feel the weight of hundreds of powerful gazes bearing down on him. Yet, Yuan remained tranquil, looking completely unaffected by it.
He is my disciple, and an elite demon sealer.
Yen Hara stated calmly.
Since he's never visited before, I brought him along. Quite the bold decision, Demon Sealer Yen Hara.
Zhou Yanfei responded coolly.
If I were in your position, I wouldn't risk bringing someone who might become a liability to a place like this.
Yen Hara smiled faintly and asked.
Why not? Have I walked into a trap? Will you strike us down now that we are in your territory? Unlike a certain someone, we are not so uncivilized.
Zhou Yanfei shook his head, and he continued.
And even if we were, we're not foolish enough to start infighting while the threat of the demons looms over us all. So what is this all about? I'm only here to act in Qian Chu's stead, since he's unavailable.
Yen Hara asked. Zhou Yanfei's expression darkened the moment Qian Chu's name was mentioned.
The world teeters on the brink of chaos, and that scheming bastard has vanished without a trace for years now.
He said coldly.
I cannot fathom why the Demon Sealing clan chose such a bastard as their leader.
Yen Hara shrugged and calmly responded.
Beats me. I was just an ordinary member who recently joined when he was appointed as the leader.
Zhou Yanfei sneered coldly.
You incompetent fools are dragging the Demon Sealing clan into ruin.
He paused, his gaze sharp.
Our original intention was to force Qianchu to reveal why he's targeting our Demon Sealing grotto, but since he's absent, our attention will shift elsewhere today. Demon Sealer Yen Hara.
Zhou Yanfei continued, his tone edged with curiosity.
Your recent activities have greatly intrigued me. With how you've been quietly rallying members of the Demon Sealing clan to your side and raising your position within the clan, are you aiming to challenge Qianchu for his position? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. What's it to you?
Yen Hara replied with a calm smile. Zhou Yanfei's eyes narrowed slightly before he declared.
If you truly intend to bring down Qianchu, the Demon Sealing Grotto is prepared to lend you our support.
2097 Visiting the Demon Sealing Grotto, 2.
The Demon Sealing Grotto will support me?
Yen Hara raised an eyebrow, genuine surprise flickering in her eyes.
That's quite the unexpected offer. However, I must ask, what if I am not trying to challenge Qianchu for his position? What if I am just trying to increase my position for my own benefits?
Zhou Yanfei paused briefly before speaking, his gaze steady.
That's difficult to believe. I may not know everything about you, but I know enough to say you're not the type to act so selfishly. And those you've been rallying, they're all individuals who are not under Qianchu's influence. If you're not aiming to challenge Qianchu, then whatever you're planning must be something that will shake the very foundation of the Demon Sealing clan. You sound very confident in that statement. That's just the feeling I am getting from you. Well, unfortunately, I have no intention of challenging Qianchu.
Yen Hara said, lying without the slightest hesitation. She couldn't afford to trust Zhou Yanfei so easily, not when there was no telling if his offer was sincere or if spies loyal to Qianchu were lurking within the chamber. Zhou Yanfei narrowed his eyes slightly, but he didn't continue to dwell on the topic and said.
Let's talk about something else then. During the Supreme Demon Sealer qualifications, what happened? Why are you asking me that again? I already told you everything back then.
Yen Hara raised her eyebrows in a puzzled manner.
My memories are getting a little hazy these days, so why don't you remind me?
Yen Hara rubbed her eyes and let out a soft sigh.
As I've said before, I was in the midst of battling the Demon Emperor when I was suddenly seized by the Demon Sealing flag. At the time, I didn't understand what had happened, but I later learned it was Qianchu who had saved me.
She paused briefly before adding.
That's also why I have no intention of challenging him. I could never turn against the one who saved my life.
Naturally, she'd already realized that it was Yuan who saved her that day, but it was true that she initially thought it was Qianchu who saved her life.
Ah yes, I recall now.
Zhou Yanfei said, his voice laced with curiosity.
Though, I find it rather strange that Qianchu saved you, yet allowed the others to perish. Why is that? Are you too, perhaps, involved in that kind of relationship?
Yan Hara's expression turned cold as she said with quiet fury.
Even if you're the demon sealing grotto's leader, I won't allow such disrespect.
Zhou Yanfei quickly offered a courteous nod.
My apologies if my speculation came off as offensive, but that only deepens the mystery. Why did he save you? To my knowledge, Qianshu has never intervened personally for anyone before. You'll have to ask Qianshu since I have no idea what he's thinking.
Zhou Yanfei let out a heavy sigh.
That day, 3 of our most gifted demon sealers lost their lives, while the demon sealing clan suffered not a single casualty. We will not rest until the truth is unveiled, and those responsible are held accountable.
Yan Hara fell silent. There was nothing she could say to defend that incident, as she understood how guilty the demon sealing clan looked. She had been there, but held no control over what had transpired. And even if Qianshu had truly tried to orchestrate their deaths as an accident, they had no proof.
I will ask you one last time. Do you know what happened on that day?
Zhou Yanfei asked again a moment later.
No.
Yan Hara instantly responded with an adamant face.
In that case, there's nothing more to discuss. Should you choose to challenge Qianshu or want to switch sides, you may contact us again. And before you leave, we'd like you to pass a message to the rest of the demon sealing clan.
Zhou Yanfei paused briefly, his expression turning cold and his gaze radiating killing intent.
We, the demon sealing grotto, hereby declare war on the demon sealing clan. From this moment forth, any member of your clan who dares approach us will be killed without mercy.
Yan Hara's eyes widened with disbelief.
What happened to not turning on each other because of the looming threat? You called it foolish just minutes ago.
Zhou Yanfei responded with a cold sneer.
I was talking about you, Yan Hara. It would be foolish to eliminate a demon sealer of your caliber. But the rest of the demon sealing clan?
He scoffed.
They're nothing but dead weight, fodder in the face of war against the demons. Purging them would be a mercy, not a loss. That's. Why are you so shocked?
Zhou Yanfei said.
You of all people should have seen this coming. Our factions have been at each other's throats for decades, and it was only a matter of time. This war didn't begin with us. Your demon sealing clan lit the fire. We only sought to hone our demon sealing aura and hunt demons, but your people forced our hand.
Although Yan Hara couldn't refute Zhou Yanfei's words, she still sought a path to reconciliation. A war between them now, with the looming threat of demons, would be nothing short of catastrophic. Just as Yan Hara struggled to find a solution, Yuan finally broke his silence and calmly said.
If you don't mind, there are a few things I would like to say.
Zhou Yanfei's gaze snapped to Yuan, his eyes sharp with disdain.
This conversation is far beyond your station, boy. Do yourself and your master a favor. Keep quiet and walk away before you make this any worse.
Despite the threat, a tranquil expression remained on Yuan's face as he spoke.
I understand your fury over the loss of your demon sealers. However, both factions bear some responsibility for what transpired, and if blame must be assigned, Qianshu bears the greatest burden. To condemn the entire demon sealing clan for the actions of one man would be both unreasonable and short-sighted.
Congratulations, you have finished listening to the 2098 Visiting the Demon Sealing Grotto, 3.
What?
Zhou Yanfei's eyes widened in shock at Yuan's response. The other demon sealers in the room exchanged uneasy glances, clearly taken aback.
Do you even know what you're saying? Why should we bear any responsibility when it was Qianshu who clearly plotted against us?
Someone in the room exclaimed out loud, his voice full of anger. Yuan turned to look at the man who had just spoken and calmly explained.
The fact that both sides agreed to release a demon emperor means that both are responsible. You're naive if you think you have the strength to deal with a demon emperor. Who do you think you are? The divine paragon?
The man opened his mouth, but no words came out. Yuan's tone remained unwavering as he continued.
I've heard that for the last Supreme Demon Sealer qualifications, you only used a demon general. So why the sudden shift to a demon emperor? I was present during that incident, and I can say with certainty that none of you had the power to kill the demon emperor. Not even Qianshu, who claimed to have captured it. If it had truly wished to, it could have slaughtered everyone that day. Fortunately, it chose to leave.
The room fell silent, as nobody knew how to respond.
What do you know? You're just a mere elite demon sealer.
Someone there eventually snapped.
That's right. What gives you the qualifications to make such claims, when you've probably never even killed a demon before?
Hearing her idol being slandered, Yan Hara could not remain silent and subconsciously defended Yuan.
What the hell do you know? He's killed more demons than anyone in this room combined.
The room fell silent again, but moments later, it erupted with laughter. Even Zhou Yanfei couldn't help but burst out laughing.
He's killed more demons than anyone in this room combined.
Zhou Yanfei repeated in a mocking tone.
Not even Qianchu would dare make such a claim. Yet, you're saying that a mere elite demon sealer has killed more demons than him? If that is true, then why the hell is he still your disciple? With such an amazing achievement, he should be leading the demon sealing clan instead. Hell, I'd even let him lead the demon sealing grotto.
Yanhara looked at Yuan with an apologetic gaze.
I'm sorry, I couldn't keep my mouth shut,
she said to him using voice transmission. Yuan shook his head with a calm smile and said out loud.
It's true though. What? You can't be serious.
Zhou Yanfei and the others immediately stopped laughing, their expressions hardening with anger. They looked as though they were being mocked.
Do you really take us for fools?
Zhou Yanfei narrowed his eyes, his voice dripping with disdain. Yuan didn't respond right away. Instead, he turned to Yanhara and asked calmly.
May I? This is.
Zhou Yanfei's eyes widened in shock and disbelief. While his body didn't appear petrified under Yuan's overwhelming demon-sealing aura, it became so stiff that even lifting a finger felt like an impossible task.
Who the hell are you?
He muttered with much difficulty. The sheer volume of demon-sealing aura Yuan exuded was unlike anything they had ever felt before. Not even Qianchu, hailed as the most talented demon sealer since the Divine Paragon, could compare to the overwhelming force Yuan was unleashing. Although Yuan wasn't hiding his face with a mask, he'd consumed an appearance-altering pill before visiting the demon-sealing grotto. After all, if he'd gone in his original appearance, there was a good chance they would recognize him, which could complicate things. However, even though he'd revealed some of his demon-sealing aura, he didn't plan on revealing himself as the Divine Paragon so soon.
I am just a mere elite demon sealer from the demon sealing clan.
Yuan nonchalantly responded to Zhou Yanfei's inquiry.
There's no way you're just a mere elite demon sealer with that level of demon sealing aura. Hell, I doubt you're even Yanhara's disciple. Does it really matter if I am her disciple or an elite demon sealer? You only need to know that I am not only Qianchu's side and that I am not the demon sealing grotto's enemy. At least for now. For now?
Zhou Yanfei quickly realized that Yuan was trying to say he could be their ally or enemy, depending on how they handled the situation.
Naturally, I don't want to be your enemy. In fact, I am very impressed by how the demon sealing grotto has managed its members compared to the demon sealing clan. If you ask me, I dare say you are this era's true demon sealing clan.
Zhou Yanfei was slightly taken aback when Yuan suddenly began praising them.
You guys didn't like how the demon sealing clan had fallen, so you created your own place, passing down the demon sealing clan's true legacy. If the Divine Paragon were here, he'd definitely say the same thing.
Yanhara could only listen in silence. Even though she agreed with Yuan, it still pained her to hear the Divine Paragon and founder of the demon sealing clan discrediting them in such a manner.
Where are you trying to go with this?
Zhou Yanfei asked with a suspicious look on his face. Yuan smiled and said.
It's quite simple. I want.
Right as Yuan opened his mouth to respond, a shift occurred in the room when nearly every demon sealer there suddenly retrieved their communication jade slip, including Zhou Yanfei. This unusual event halted Yuan, and he watched as the demon sealers' faces twisted with surprise.
Demon worshippers have appeared and are attacking the outside city.
One of them exclaimed, revealing the situation to Yuan. 2099 Demon Worshippers Invasion.
What in heaven's name? We're being attacked by demon worshippers.
Zhou Yanfei was in disbelief after hearing this information from his communication jade slip. He couldn't fathom what the demon worshippers were thinking since they typically avoided demon sealers like the plague and would never willingly approach them. Yet, they were attacking the demon sealing grotto's headquarters out of the blue.
If they're attacking the demon sealing grotto, what about the demon sealing clan?
Yanhara asked out loud amidst the confusion.
How would we know? You should ask them yourself. Our meeting here is done. We have some business to take care of.
Zhou Yanfei stood up and looked at the other demon sealers in the room before continuing.
These demon worshippers have gotten brazen. Make sure you kill each and every last one of them for pulling this stunt.
As everyone swiftly left the room, Yanhara retrieved a communication jade slip to contact someone from the demon sealing clan.
Are you at the demon sealing clan's headquarters? Is everything okay there?
She asked whoever was on the other end.
Huh, why wouldn't we be okay?
A calm voice responded.
I'm at the demon sealing grotto, and they're being attacked by demon worshippers.
Yanhara revealed.
What? Demon worshippers attacking the demon sealing grotto? Are you sure? That's unheard of. I'm serious. That's crazy. But no, we're fine at the demon sealing clan. However, I will notify the others just in case they do attack later.
After ending the conversation, Yanhara looked at Yuan and asked.
What should we do now? There's only one thing to do.
Yuan said as he stood up. Yan Hara nodded and followed Yuan. As they walked outside the building, they could see tens of thousands of demon sealers rushing to the portal to go outside to deal with the invasion.
Demon worshippers have invaded our territory. Kill them all.
Yuan and Yan Hara followed them outside, and the moment they stepped out of the portal, their ears were assaulted by deafening explosions. As their eyes adjusted, they saw the city engulfed in chaos, surrounded on all sides by countless figures clad in black robes, each wearing a demon-faced mask that radiated malevolence. The demon-sealing grotto fought desperately to defend the city, but the sheer number of demon worshippers proved overwhelming. To make matters worse, some of the cultists self-destructed upon confrontation, turning their bodies into deadly bombs and plunging the battlefield into further chaos.
Watch out. These bastards are sacrificing themselves. I need more people in the west. The north also needs more reinforcements. What the hell are they trying to achieve with this stunt?
Yan Hara questioned out loud after witnessing the scene. Yuan narrowed his eyes slightly and said,
Looks like they're trying to cause as much chaos as possible, but their objective is still unclear. Let's just take care of them for now. All right, I'll go help out in the west,
said Yan Hara as she flew away to help. Yuan joined the battle shortly after, lending his strength to the northern front. Though his opponents were humans, he deliberately wielded demon-sealing aura, both to conceal his true identity and because the demon worshippers bore traces of demonic energy, making them especially vulnerable to such power. The demon-sealing grotto's forces were caught off guard by the unexpected assistance from the demon-sealing clan. While Yan Hara's reputation preceded her, drawing little surprise, it was Yuan, whose identity was unknown, who left the most significant impression. The sheer potency of his demon-sealing aura stunned even the most seasoned demon sealers present, as it was even stronger than what he revealed during the meeting.
Heavens! Who the hell is that? He's sealing the demon worshippers by just being near them. I heard that he's Yan Hara's disciple. No way. His demon-sealing aura is clearly even stronger than hers.
The demon worshippers quickly recognized Yuan as a threat to their plans and wasted no time marking him as their top priority.
Kill him!
A black-masked leader roared, thrusting his finger toward Yuan with murderous intent. In the next instant, hundreds of red-masked demon worshippers surged toward Yuan like a tide. Yet, strangely, not a single one of them made a move to attack. Instead, they hurled themselves at him like lifeless ragdolls. Seeing the incoming wave, Yuan's eyes narrowed as he warned, his voice calm yet commanding.
Leave now if you don't want to die.
The demon sealers around him didn't hesitate. Sensing the abnormality and realizing what the worshippers intended, they immediately scattered in all directions, retreating from the impending blast zone. A split second later, just as the red-masked worshippers reached the very edge of Yuan's demon-sealing aura, they all simultaneously crushed their dantians. Their bodies pulsed violently before erupting into a chain of catastrophic explosions, each one infused with destructive spiritual energy, turning them into living bombs aimed solely at annihilating Yuan. The force of the explosions depended heavily on the cultivation of each individual. However, with most of the red-masked worshippers barely at the spirit realm, their self-destruction amounted to little more than sparks against Yuan, not even enough to harm a single strand of his hair.
If you want to take me down, you'll need to sacrifice immortals at the very least,
Yuan said to the demon worshippers after coming out of the explosion unscathed. Once again, the black-masked individual commanded.
Kill him.
Without hesitation, 3 bronze immortal and 1 silver immortal charged at Yuan and detonated their dantian right outside of Yuan's demon-sealing aura. Boom! Suddenly, a far greater explosion erupted, one so immense that it engulfed half the city in a blinding inferno.
Surely, he must be dead,
the demon worshippers muttered as they watched from afar. Moments later, as the blinding light of the explosion faded, the demon worshippers stood frozen in disbelief, their eyes widening with horror upon seeing Yuan emerge completely unscathed.
Looks like mere immortals won't cut it,
Yuan said with a calm smile, his gaze settling on the black-masked figure at the second level of God Ascension.
Why don't you give it a try?
Congratulations, you have finished listening to 100 Divine Paragon's demon-sealing arts.
How dare a mere immortal?
The black-masked figure muttered coldly, his voice laced with disdain. Yet, despite Yuan's provocation, he remained composed. Unlike the expendable pawns that littered the battlefield, he was no mindless fanatic and wouldn't risk himself so easily. Though he could theoretically overpower Yuan with sheer cultivation alone, he dared not act recklessly. The threat of Yuan's demon-sealing aura loomed like a blade at his throat. Having accepted a demon's power, he was now inherently vulnerable to its natural counter, demon-sealing aura. In such confrontations, cultivation alone meant little. However, despite Yuan single-handedly holding the northern front, the other regions struggled to contain the relentless advance of the demon worshippers.
Damn it, why the hell are there so many demon worshippers? This is unprecedented. Look over there. More are coming.
Suddenly, the demon sealers spotted fresh waves of demon worshippers approaching from the horizon, an overwhelming black tide surging toward them like a living storm.
Something isn't right. There can't be this many demon worshippers.
Zhou Yanfei had a deep frown on his face as he contemplated the situation. Then, a look of realization and disgust washed over his face.
It can't be.
Not only were there too many demon worshippers, but most of these individuals were within the spirit realm and divine realm.
They must be controlling these people like puppets. They're not true demon worshippers, just sacrificial pawns.
Zhou Yanfei exclaimed, shocking everyone present.
Then how the hell should we deal with them?
Someone there asked. If these people were truly innocent people being controlled by the real demon worshippers, they'd feel guilty killing them. However, if they didn't stop them, these people would turn into suicidal bombs, inflicting immeasurable damage to the demon sealing grotto.
Those wearing the black demon masks must be the ones controlling them. Take them down first. The control should end once they're dead.
Zhou Yanfei commanded with urgency. The demon sealers immediately shifted their focus to the black-masked figures. However, reaching them was easier said than done. The pawns swarmed around their masters like a living shield, and any attempt to approach was met with detonations from the red-masked ones, turning themselves into deadly explosives. Since there was no definitive proof that the red-masked individuals were merely innocent people under control, the demon sealers made no effort to minimize their casualties. Even if they were innocent, the fall of the demon sealing grotto would bring about far greater destruction. If the demon sealing grotto were to collapse, the demons would no longer need to hide in the shadows in fear. Although cultivators today far surpass those from the demonic era and might ultimately repel another demon invasion, the demons would still wreak catastrophic havoc across the 9 heavens, claiming countless innocent lives in the process. Realizing how desperate the situation was, Yanhara spoke to Yuan using voice transmission.
Yuan, can I use your techniques to stop these people from destroying their Dantian?
Yuan responded.
If your demon sealing aura is strong enough, it's possible. But if I do that, it'll reveal to the world that I have received the Divine Paragon's legacy.
Since Yanhara had yet to reveal any of the techniques bestowed upon her by Yuan, only a select few were aware that she now wielded the Divine Paragon's demon sealing arts.
It has to happen eventually anyway,
said Yuan.
I understand.
With Yuan's approval, Yanhara tossed aside all hesitation and unleashed the Divine Paragon's techniques. A torrent of demon sealing aura erupted from her, sweeping across the battlefield like a divine tempest. Both demon worshippers and demon sealers alike were shaken by its sheer magnitude.
Demon sealing zone.
In an instant, a massive barrier was erected, covering the entire battlefield.
This technique is...
Zhou Yanfei's eyes widened as he quickly recognized the technique being deployed and was shocked endlessly.
The Divine Paragon's demon sealing art. Demon sealing zone. Why the hell do you have this technique?
He shouted at her in a cracked voice. However, Yanhara ignored him and focused on the technique. Sensing the imminent threat, the demon worshippers immediately turned to flee.
Seal.
Yanhara's voice thundered across the battlefield as her demon sealing aura surged forth, enveloping the red-masked individuals and sealing them all within the confines of the demon sealing zone. In the blink of an eye, nearly all of the demon worshippers were sealed. However, since the black-masked individuals had a much higher cultivation, they were able to escape the demon sealing zone and avoid being sealed. The demon worshipper reinforcements froze in their tracks upon witnessing the scene, and they even began retreating in fear. With a single technique, Yanhara had single-handedly halted the demon worshipper's invasion. However, the feat had drained nearly all of her energy, and if they were to strike again, she wouldn't have the strength to stop them a second time.
Well done.
Yuan praised her through voice transmission.
Thank you. I've been training in secret ever since you entrusted me with the technique.
She replied, her heart uplifted by the praise of its creator.
Yanhara, answer me. Why the hell do you have the Divine Paragon's demon sealing art?
Zhou Yanfei approached her afterward, demanding an answer.
What? That was the Divine Paragon's technique? I thought it disappeared with the Divine Paragon.
The demon sealers were shocked to learn this. Yanhara met Zhou Yanfei's gaze with a composed expression and said clearly.
It's simple. I've inherited the Divine Paragon's legacy. You what?
Zhou Yanfei burst out in disbelief.
The Divine Paragon's legacy?
Even the black-masked demon worshippers froze in shock. None of them had foreseen such a staggering revelation emerging amidst their invasion.
What should we do? Our plans will. Calm down.
A cold, commanding voice cut through the rising panic. In the next instant, a suffocating pressure swept across the battlefield, sinister and oppressive, drenching the land in a malicious aura that made even the bravest tremble.
This presence demon has appeared.
The demon sealers instantly recognized the presence of a demon and prepared for their appearance. 2101 An unknown demon emperor. Sensing the demonic presence, Zhou Yanfei turned to Yan Hara and said grimly.
We'll continue this conversation later.
Without another word, his gaze shifted toward the middle of the battlefield, where a shadowy figure had emerged out of thin air. Once its form came into focus, the figure revealed itself to be a gray-skinned demon, its body devoid of any visible crystal, a clear indication that it was at least a demon general.
Quickly, seal it.
Several demon sealers shouted in panic, instinctively rushing forward to subdue the threat.
Don't be reckless.
Zhou Yanfei warned sharply, but his voice came a second too late.
Foolish livestock.
The demon sneered with contempt, its voice laced with cruel amusement. In the very next instant, a wave of oppressive force erupted from its body, followed by a thunderous explosion. The surrounding demon sealers were instantly reduced to a mist of blood and flesh, their death so sudden and brutal that it left the battlefield in stunned silence.
That level of prowess. It has to be a demon emperor.
Yan Hara exclaimed. Unfortunately, she'd already exhausted herself, and it would take some time before she could recover and help. Yet, she wasn't too worried, since the divine paragon himself was present. Yuan turned his focus onto the demon with narrowed eyes.
A demon emperor?
He muttered under his breath. Yet, its presence was unfamiliar. 3 demon emperors had once escaped with their lives, and he'd slain one not long ago. That should have left only 2, both of whom he could recognize without fail. So who was this one? Did a new one emerge? Yuan pondered silently. But with the demon realm sealed, no new demons should have appeared. That could only mean one thing: this one had ascended to the rank of demon emperor after the demon realm was sealed. However, an evolution of that magnitude would demand a tremendous amount of time, countless sacrifices, and opportunities that should have long vanished with the end of the demonic era.
How dare you call us foolish?
Zhou Yanfei stepped forward, unshaken by its overwhelming pressure.
You may be a demon emperor, but this is the heart of the demon sealing grotto. Not even you can deal with all of us alone.
The demon emperor let out a low, mocking laugh.
Who said anything about being alone?
It clapped its hands once, softly. A moment later, the space around them twisted. One after another, dark silhouettes emerged from the shadows, their auras vile and suffocating. In mere moments, hundreds of demons of varying ranks blanketed the horizon, encircling the demon sealing grotto. The expressions of the demon sealers darkened. In an instant, the tides had turned. The sheer number of demons was overwhelming, enough to threaten even the demon sealing grotto. The demon emperor spoke a moment later.
Honestly, we weren't planning on making an appearance. However, something peculiar had forced our hands.
Its gaze shifted to Yan Hara. Then, it continued with narrowed eyes.
The divine paragon's legacy, you say? That won't do. We cannot allow you to live now that we know you have inherited that vermin's techniques.
Realizing the demon's true intent, Zhou Yanfei roared with urgency.
Demon Sealing Grotto. Protect Demon Sealer Yan Hara at all costs. We cannot allow the divine paragon's legacy to vanish a second time.
Despite Yan Hara belonging to the demon sealing clan, their long-standing rival, the demon sealers of the grotto did not hesitate. In that moment, they understood, the divine paragon's legacy transcended all grudges. Even if it had been Qian Chu standing in her place, they would still decide to protect him. The demon emperor raised his hand and pointed at Yan Hara, his voice eerily calm as he uttered a single command.
Kill them all.
In the blink of an eye, chaos erupted. Demons and demon sealers clashed, painting the battlefield in blood and fury, a scene common in the demonic era but unseen for countless years since then. By now, every demon sealer within the demon sealing grotto had joined the battle, their auras clashing violently with the demonic horde. Yuan, too, prepared to step into the fray, but his movements abruptly stopped as he sensed a strange disturbance. His gaze instinctively shifted toward the portal leading into the grotto's headquarters, and just as his attention settled, he caught sight of a lone figure slipping through its entrance. Typically, such a scene would warrant no suspicion, but this individual was cloaked in a technique that concealed their presence. While not as flawless as Shadow Veil, it came close. Amidst the chaos of battle, even seasoned experts would have easily overlooked it. Without hesitation, Yuan activated Shadow Veil and chased after the individual into the demon sealing grotto's headquarters. However, before doing so, he warned Yan Hara using voice transmission.
I'm going to investigate something real quick, so you'll have to deal with these demons without me for a bit. What?
Yan Hara cried out, her voice sharp with alarm.
What's wrong, Yan Hara?
Zhou Yanfei immediately turned to her, eyes narrowing.
In nothing.
She quickly shook her head, forcing a calm facade, but the flicker of worry in her eyes betrayed her.
I'm almost ready to fight again,
she said a moment later as she consumed several more recovery pills. Meanwhile, after stepping through the portal, Yuan continued following the mysterious figure, taking the opportunity to scrutinize his appearance. He had already memorized the faces of every demon sealing grotto member present on the battlefield, yet this man was unfamiliar. This individual appeared to be a young man with a nondescript face, so ordinary that one's gaze would naturally pass over him. Yet beneath that unremarkable exterior, his eyes shone with purpose. Since nearly all members of the demon-sealing grotto had left the headquarters to battle the invading demons, the city was left desolate, allowing the young man to move about unhindered and without concern. Eventually, they stopped before a massive structure at the heart of the city. Yuan didn't recognize the building, and unbeknownst to him, it was the demon-sealing grotto's vault, where their most precious treasures were kept. Congratulations,